my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to introduce myself to you, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys got me, okay? This video is going to be one that you have been requesting tirelessly for the past few weeks. And because I already have some videos about 2020, I will link them down below in case you're interested. I didn't want it to be an overkill of 2020 videos, but you guys still insisted on getting your prediction for the year of 2020 for each individual zodiac sign. And if you're familiar with my channel, then you would know that you request and I provide. So you guys, aside from today's super exciting reading, I have something else that I want to share with you guys. I have launched a completely new line of zodiac necklaces on my website. So these necklaces are made out of solid sterling silver and they're plated with solid gold. So you know that these are made to last. I wear mine to shower, to work out, literally to do anything. And as a business owner, I would tell you not to do so. But just as a friend, I just want to let you know, like, the quality is bomb. You can do these things with the necklace. So these are just a few of the styles that I want to show you guys. So obviously each zodiac sign has its own style and it is like stamped on both sides. So it doesn't really matter if your necklace like shifts or like turns around, like you're always going to be able to see your zodiac sign. So this is what they look like up close. They are literally so gorgeous. And because we're still in the festive season, each necklace comes with a free crystal pouch as seen up here. So you can get 6 different crystals as a free gift with your necklace or actually any other physical order. So you guys, this is a very limited run of products because they're all handmade. And we are still a small business, so make sure that you grab your zodiac sign while it lasts. So you guys, now that I'm done with the big launch announcement, I want to get into the reading. So as you know, the timestamps are in the description box as well as pinned to the comment section, so you can click your zodiac sign to fast forward to your reading. So each reading is going to be conducted completely intuitively. I have not prepared anything. I will be starting off with Aries, and to all the other zodiac signs, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, my beautiful little Aries tribe, and welcome to your reading about 2020. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be doing this intuitively, as already mentioned, so just lean back and enjoy. First and foremost, we have intention. So to all my Aries out there, I want you to know that setting intentions is really going to be what makes 2020 a fabulous year for you. So if you don't set intentions, not much is going to happen. Intention setting, goal setting, as well as manifestation, those are all very powerful ways in which you can further your career, you can further your personal life, and you can just make sure that you're living your best life in general. So with intention setting, I want you to make sure that you really list out and write down your goals, because if you're not completely sure of what your intentions are, how are you supposed to set goals or even set intentions? So become a little more clear of what it is that you would like to accomplish this next year. Then we have commit to happiness. So my dear Aries fam, you have to commit to being happy. I want you to know that being happy is not something that just happens. It's not something that is in anybody else's control but yours. And I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that sometimes. We feel as though we need certain things to be happy. We need certain accomplishments, and that is simply not true. When you commit to being happy, then you sort of like flick that switch mentally and tell yourself, no matter what happens, you know, life is 10% of what happens and 90% of how I react to it. And I will react to it, seeing things always in the most positive way and in a way how I am sure that my mindset will remain where it's supposed to be, because your mind really is everything, and that is one thing that I want you to keep in mind. And as an Aries, you can sometimes be impulsive. You can sometimes just think of yourself and basically think of all the worries that you have. But it's important for you in 2020 to try and work towards just like thinking about the positive, not being so impulsive, but reminding yourself of your intentions as well as what you want your life to be like. Then we have listen to your body. So my dear Aries fam, have you been neglecting your body? Have you been making impulsive decisions with food? You know, I mean, I'm not trying to call you out, but do you have a little bit of like crumbs around your mouth from a bag of chips or some cake or what is that? Okay, just kidding. But honestly, you have to listen to your body and what your body needs. For instance, one thing that I struggle with is like eating heavy, like hot meals during the day. And I never even noticed why I was sometimes so tired during the day until I paid attention to what my body was reacting to. And that is really invaluable information that no doctor can give you. This is something that you need to look out for, that only you can start to notice and then make the necessary adjustments. So for me, for instance, I try to keep, you know, big, hot, heavy meals for the end of the day, just because that works best with me. That's how I have the most energy during the day and I don't feel so stuffy and bloated. But that's just an example. Obviously for you, your body works differently, but trying to be more in tune with your body is what I see as important for you in the year of 2020. Then we have exploration as well as trust. So you have to trust the process of exploration. You have to trust that exploring new things is not going to come with anything scary, with anything that is negative, okay? Keep in mind that whenever you explore new things, you allow yourself to acquire more knowledge and you inspire yourself to be less insecure, because with every time you get out of your comfort zone, you're like making it a habit to get out of that comfort zone, to get out of that space of insecurity and feeling scared. So that is very important for you. In transformation as well as celestial assistance, I want you to know here that there will be synchronicities that are pointing towards the transformation that you're going through in the year of 2020. So transformation is constantly happening. Some are bigger, some are smaller. In the year of 2020, I see that a way how you can really notice if something is feeling like off, and for you to really realize what it is by looking at synchronicities. So you may be seeing the same number or the same thing over and over again, and that is the sort of sign that is pointing towards the transformation that you're going through and the growth that your body is currently going through. So in the celestial assistance, I want you to know here that there is guidance here. There is like a sense of like angelic messages that are coming towards you in the year of 2020, but you have to listen. If you're just going to disregard signs, if you're just going to disregard basically feelings, your intuition, what your body is saying, then obviously you will never hear any of those messages. You will never feel connected to any of those messages. So make sure that you commit to allowing yourself to trust your feelings, allowing yourself to commit to not being so impulsive as we mentioned, but actually like thinking things through before you act. That is so important for you, Aries. I know that sometimes you're the type that just wants to get things done, which is great to a certain extent and in certain situations, but at the same time, it would be beneficial for you to think things through a little more before you commit or before you actually engage with a certain topic. And then we have the Queen of Feathers, we have the Three of Crystals, we have the 10 of Acorns, as well as the 9 of Acorns. So my dear Aries, we have 2 acorns here, which, you know, just corresponds very nicely to fire signs. We have the 10 as well as the 9 of Acorns. So there is some sort of completion with a passion project, with something that is very near and dear to your heart, that is going to have a big impact on the year of 2020, and probably also give you a lot of that like extra confidence that you feel like you have needed, or you may have feel like you have been lacking. So I want you to know that in the year of 2020, there are a lot of cool projects that you can then think of starting once this big one is sort of done. So if you've always wanted to write a song, to write a book, to just do something like out of the ordinary, something that requires a lot of time and dedication, keep in mind that you have to first finish that before you can move on to the next step. In the 9 of Acorns, I want you to know that the universe is still sort of sending you signs to persevere, to make sure that you stay dedicated. As I see here in the Queen of Feathers, that the truth is really what you allow the truth to be. So let me explain what I mean by that. So it may be very important for you to write this book, finish this song, you know, draw this painting, and the truth for you is that you have to finish that in order to feel like you're confident enough, in order to feel accomplished enough to move forward with the next project. So of course you can change that truth. Of course you can change your perception and just tell yourself, yeah, you know, I can work on a lot of things all in one go. But at the end of the day, you know deep down inside that what you really want to do is finish this thing. What you really want to do is get things done that have been on your list for months, maybe even years. And in the Three of Crystals, I want you to know that productivity is a big thing, and collaborating with other people can be very beneficial for you in the year of 2020. So make sure that you allow time to spend with other people, go to networking events, as they will give you a lot of valuable insight as to what your next steps may be. So dear Aries fam, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful and that it gave you inspiration and motivation for the year of 2020. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in my next video. Hello, my dear Tauruses of the world, and welcome to your reading about the year 2020 for you. So let's get straight into it. I want you to just lean back and enjoy the messages that I'm going to be channeling completely intuitively for you. So let's get into it. Let's see, we have Get Clear. So all of my Tauruses, I want you to know that yes, you're very grounded. You're the kind of person that people can depend on, but sometimes you can't always depend on yourself. Sometimes you're a little bit all over the place and you can be a little confused as to what it is that you truly want. But the year 2020 is a year of getting things back on track, of getting things to a point where you're very clear as to what you want. Because one thing about you is that you're very dedicated. Once you want something, you're going to work hard for it and you're not going to make up excuses. But until it is actually crystal clear to you, you can be a little stubborn to do so. You can be the kind of person who kind of just wants to wait till tomorrow. You know, you're constantly putting things off and procrastinating. Once you've made that change, once you've made that mental decision to follow a dream or an aspiration, you are 100% dedicated. And that is one thing that you need to keep focusing on in the year of 2020. Once you learn to sort of like automate that process of getting yourself to the point where you can just say, yes, I'm doing this. This is something that I'm dedicated towards, then you won't have so many issues with procrastination anymore. Moving further into your reading, we have kindness. So as a Taurus, you're already somebody who is very loving and giving once you actually commit to caring about somebody. And I see that your kindness can be extended in the year of 2020. So there may be people around you who need help. This may not necessarily be direct family, direct friends. This could just be an organization where you can donate time, where you can donate resources, and just do like your little humanitarian part, if you will. And then we have respect. So all my dear Tauruses, I want you to know that 2020 is the year of an increase in respect. I feel as though maybe you've been looked over recently, or you feel like people have not been giving you the respect that you deserve and the respect that you require, but it is definitely something that is coming towards you as people are going to start to realize that their wrongdoings are things that they have to make right with you. Because yes, you're very loving. Yes, you're somebody who can forgive easily, but at the same time, you don't necessarily forget. You can sometimes just bottle it up within you, and people just making things right will be a pleasant surprise for you in the year of 2020, but also self-respect is one thing that I see for you. So you're not going to be running after projects or people anymore who basically don't care about you, and you're going to realize that, okay, if somebody shows me basically that they don't care, why am I asking myself why they're doing this? I mean, obviously they don't care all that much. Obviously they are more interested in themselves or somebody else. So I need to stop allowing myself to feel sort of insecure about it, okay? That is one thing that I see for you in the year of 2020. Then we have transformation as well as exploration. So all my dear Tauruses, in transformation, one thing that I see is a metamorphosis on a very mental and spiritual level. In correlation to exploration, I see that you will be able to see things from other points of view. So in kindness, I want you to see this connection of compassion. So by being more kind and understanding towards other people, you will all of a sudden start to think differently. You will all of a sudden start to think to yourself, okay, so why are spiritual people really big on manifestation? Why are people who are religious really big on faith, for instance? So these are all just examples, but you're going to be able to put yourself more into other people's points of views as well as shoes, which will give you so much more of an expansion of your your worldview than you have ever experienced or ever been used to, which will make you more mature and more wise. And that is truly the catalyst of this metamorphosis. That is truly the catalyst of you sort of changing into the person that you're going to be for 2020. But of course, you know, this is just one process out of many, but it is the most important in 2020 for you. Then we have empowerment as well as the heart portal. So the heart portal corresponds to the heart chakra, and that is really one thing that I see that is activated for you. So I see generosity here, but I also see like a certain part of you that is maybe a little less trusting because you've been burnt so many times. So in empowerment, I want you to know here that your strength to say no is coming out more than ever in the year of 2020. And it has a lot to do with the fact that you've been receptive, you've been generous, you've been the type who is very giving emotionally, maybe also physically. You give time, and we all just have a finite amount of time, and you're starting to notice like, wow, you know, I have to really pick and choose who I give my time to, who I give everything to that is important to me, my emotions, and that is going to leave you feeling empowered because you have this sense of control, you have this sense of security, knowing that you're not just going to put your heart out there for anybody to stomp all over. You're going to make sure that the people who you allow into your space are handpicked, okay? They're special. All of them are people who you trust and where you know that your time, your dedication is not going to be given in vain. Then we have the 6 of acorns, the 2 of crystals, the 7 of shells, as well as the King of crystals. So we have a lot of crystals here, which correspond really nicely to earth signs. And as a Taurus, of course, this is something that you can relate to. And the 2 of crystals, I see here that adaptability is an important thing for you in the year of 2020. You're gonna be stressed, okay? 2020, in numerology, we have 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0. We get 4, okay? This is the year of work, which is not easy for everybody, where you will have to juggle your personal life and your work in a way how you may feel stressed, you may feel overwhelmed, but it's important for you to keep in mind that you have what it takes to juggle, that there are different ways to be able to overcome fear and anxiety and stress, but you have to make the choice to do so. That is one thing that I see in the 7 of shells. Emotionally, you have to get yourself to a point where you make that conscious decision to look at all the choices that you have and choose more wisely. So instead of spending time doing something that you don't necessarily need to do, instead of just opening up your agenda to a plethora of different activities, because you know how when people ask you to do something, you're just like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And then you have these other commitments that you need to do, but actually narrowing it down to the things that are important, that is what you're going to learn in the year of 2020 by force, okay? Because you have to, because there is not enough time to play games and to just give your time out frivolously. And that is one thing that I see here in the King of crystals. You're going to learn that when you commit to something, then that is what you commit to, but everything else just kind of like takes a back seat, okay? It's kind of like on the back burner. And this will take a lot of courage out of you because it's something that you're not really used to doing, or that maybe you thought you didn't have to, but you're going to have to confront also people with the fact that you only have a limited amount of time and they have to respect that time. You don't have time for friends who leave you waiting for a half hour. You don't have time for things where you're basically just wasting time that is not in your control. So when you make plans with people, you give them a big portion of control, because if they don't want to show up, or they want to show up an hour late, like that is out of your control. All you can do is wait and allow for your time to pass by. So of course, what I recommend for you to do in the year of 2020 is to always be prepared, you know, always have something that you can work on, bring a book that you can read, maybe bring a tablet where you can work on certain things, where you can study, where you can do whatever it is that you need to do in case of being sort of like stood up. But I also want you to know here in the 6 of acorns that you have to stand up for yourself in order for success to take place in the year of 2020, and in a way that is as great as it possibly could be. So stand up for yourself, all my Tauruses. Make sure that you don't allow your soft side to be the only side that is out in 2020. Make sure that you like set proper proper boundaries with people, especially when it comes to your time. I see that time is so valuable for you in this upcoming year, especially because, you know, maybe there are people that don't have that much time left, that don't have so much time to give. That could be an animal, that could be somebody in your life who is older or who's just going through something where you don't know for how long they're still going to be here. So make sure that those people get the most of your time, and everybody else has to earn the time. Everybody else has to show that they respect you enough to not waste your time. So all my dear Tauruses, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful and encouraging and motivational. Let me know that in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, my beautiful Geminis, and welcome to your reading about the year of 2020. So let's see what is going on for you. Lean back and enjoy your reading. So first and foremost, we have vibration. So all my Geminis, I want you to make sure that you focus on your vibration and also the quality of your vibration, okay? That is one thing that is very important. I mean, we all say that vibrating on a high frequency is really important, but what is also important is how do we feel on this frequency? You know, do we feel as though we have to step it down a notch because we're not quite ready for this sort of frequency? Or do we feel as though like we could put a little more vibration in there? We could put a little more height in there, a little more positivity. So make sure that you're really paying attention to your emotions as well as just how you feel. You know, when you're sitting here right now watching this reading, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're vibrating low, like you're a little down and depressed? Or do you feel like, yeah, I'm motivated, I'm ready to get things done? So make sure that you adjust your vibration accordingly by motivating yourself through watching, for instance, pick a card reading videos, by listening to podcasts that make you feel inspired, reading books, working out. Just make sure that you implement habits that give you a quality vibration in the year of 2020. Then what do we have here? We have strength. So my Geminis, 2020 is not going to be an easy year for you, and it may come with a lot of mood swings, okay? One thing that I see here is that you might be struggling in your relationships with certain aspects where you just feel like you're being misunderstood. You're a very fun and witty person, but sometimes people don't really get your jokes. They don't really get what you're trying to say and what you mean seriously and what you don't. So try and communicate very clearly. Try and make sure that there is no form of miscommunication that is possible, but also be strong for the times where people just don't want to get it, okay? There are a lot of people who don't necessarily want to get you and who might want to bring your vibration down on purpose. And what you need to do is to make sure that you just focus on your goals, that you just focus on your happiness, and other people can do whatever they want to do without affecting you. Then we have self-love. So this just ties in perfectly with the fact that you need to focus on yourself as well as just making sure that you are taken care of on a vibrational level, on an emotional level, because if you don't do so, nobody else will. And I'm not trying to shade your friends or your family, the people who are around you, but when they're going through a tough time, they may not have the time to ask you how you're doing. They may not have the time to uplift you at every given point in time. And you have to make sure that you implement certain safety nets in 2020 to make sure that you can remain strong, that you don't crack under pressure, and that you don't have any mental breakdowns. So these habits that you can implement, these certain changes that you can make are very easy, but they take dedication and they take a lot of discipline, okay? So one thing that I do, for instance, is I wake up, I work out, and I read, and that gives me a safety net to know that my day is starting off on a productive note and in a very positive way. I already feel accomplished at the beginning of the day. So no matter what comes after that, no matter what kind of email that I read with bad news, or no matter what kind of negativity that I may encounter on the internet, I have already set myself up for success. I have already set myself up to be resilient because I started the day feeling amazing. So all my Geminis, I want you to implement that in 2020, as it will be very important for you and help you a lot during difficult times that are coming up. Then we have challenges, dreamscape, attachment, as well as the throat portal. So My dear Geminis, first and foremost, I'm sure you're wondering about these challenges. So we already touched upon it, and there's a reason why you're here watching this. There's a reason why your spirit guides wanted me to communicate to you that you need that safety blanket of amazing habits as well as routines that just start your day off in the right way. And I want you to know here that there is negativity and betrayal in 2020 for you. And I mean, every zodiac sign is going to go through some difficulties. A year is never just like a year of bliss. There are always ups and downs. But I see here with you that it may have a lot to do with your work, okay? It may have a lot to do with just the fact that there may be people who are not giving you the credit that you deserve, or they don't want you to succeed, especially if you're trying to start your own business. That is what I see in correlation to Dreamscape. But you have to make sure here that you detach yourself from that and that you attach yourself to everything that pushes and drives you forward. So anything that you like encounter. So for instance, if you go on Instagram or you see some sort of comment, you watch some type of content that you already feel like makes you feel low. So for instance, there are certain reality shows that I always really enjoyed watching, but I realized that after watching those, my vibration seemed lower. I seemed to not be as motivated. I seemed to have thoughts that were less than favorable. So really pay attention to what goes on with you internally depending on what you consume, and then make adjustments, because all of those little things make a big difference. Detaching yourself from that kind of vibration can really change your life and give you so much more time to focus on what is important. And in the throat portal, I want you to speak your truth, okay? I want you to make sure that you're not allowing people to get away with stuff anymore, okay? The year of 2020 is not the year of people walking all over you. That is over, okay? That is not happening. If somebody has upset you, rubbed you the wrong way, or said something that was really hurtful, speak up about it. Let them know that it's not okay and that you're not going to be tolerating it. Then we have the Nine of Crystals, the King of Feathers, the Ten of Shells, as well as the Page of Shells. So let's move further into your reading, all my beautiful Geminis. In the Nine of Crystals, I see here that security is really important. I feel as though more financial abundance is coming towards you, but you need to persevere, okay? You need to make sure that you're persistent in your ventures, especially if you're starting your own thing, because that will be something that is completely new and that can have you freaking out. And that is one thing that I want you to consider in the Page of Crystals, okay? The Page is inexperienced. The Page does not exactly know how to manage their emotions in order to not crack under the pressure. In the Ten of Shells, I see here that well-being is something that can come towards you, but as I said, you have to persevere, you have to be dedicated, and you have to make sure that you don't focus on New Year's resolutions, but implement New Year's habits, you know what I mean? And don't beat yourself up if you mess up, because we all mess up when we try starting out a new habit. You know, we all have days where we don't do what we said we were going to do, and that's okay. I want you to know in the King of Feathers that you have to be logical, okay? The year of 2020 is not the year of emotions taking over for you, my Geminis. What this year is all about is you thinking in a very logical and objective way in order to move forward in the most beneficial way possible for you. So in correlation to, for instance, starting the new habits, if you fall off one day, so if you tell yourself you're going to start each morning with having an apple instead of like a piece of chocolate, I don't know what you would usually eat for breakfast. Maybe you wouldn't have breakfast at all, but you want to start your day with like a healthy injection of vitamins. Make sure that you don't get mad at yourself if you don't do it one day. Make sure that you don't beat yourself up about it or tell yourself, well, you know, I messed up this one day, so I might as well just let it be for the rest of the year. No, okay, the most logical thing to do is to make sure that you continue tomorrow, is to make sure that you continue that progress as soon as possible. So keep in mind that just being logical is going to really help you forward, all my dear Geminis, and make sure that just focusing on your vibration, focusing on making sure that you're loving yourself by setting boundaries between you and people who don't have the best intentions for you. That is what will make 2020 the most prosperous and successful year for you, not only financially, but also emotionally. So all my dear Geminis, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful and that it gave you inspiration as well as motivation. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all of my fellow Cancers. Welcome to your reading. Let's move straight into it. I'm going to be doing this completely intuitively, and I want you to know that I truly get you, okay? We can be moody, our just persona can change from one second to the next, and being unable to let go, oh, girl, I can sing you a little song about that, but let's move right into the reading to figure out exactly what we can do for the year 2020 and just what's happening for us. So we have get clear. So all my fellow Cancers, I want you to make sure that you get clear of what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want, okay? Knowing what you don't want already makes the pool of what you do want a lot smaller and a lot more sort of like efficient, if you know what I mean. So also making mistakes, you know, allow yourself to make a ton of mistakes in work, a ton of mistakes just in your personal life, because that will really teach you what works and what doesn't. So each mistake is a success in its own way, because that just shows you another way of how not to do something, okay? So let's move further into your reading. We have boundaries. So setting boundaries is one thing that is important for you in the year of 2020, but I also see that you have to realize where your boundaries are. So sometimes we can push ourselves so hard. We can also go so hard for people, being very protective, being very sort of like loyal to the point where it's harming us, to the point where we're unable to just allow ourselves to see things objectively, where we're unable to keep in mind like it's important to have those boundaries in order to maintain our own sanity and our own mental health. So I want you to focus on making sure that like you have boundaries also when it comes to giving and also when it comes to being there for other people, because when you constantly give and give and give, it's just draining you, and you get to the point where like the world only gets the rest of you instead of what's best of you, okay? And I know that sounds really cheesy, but let's be real, there's some truth to that that is valuable for you in the year of 2020. Then we have ruminate. So it's very important for you to make sure that you keep memories safe as well as sacred, and that you reflect a lot. So I would recommend for you, all my fellow Cancerians, to get a journal, to write down the things that are important to you, to write down just memories that you have made, that you have been able to have be a part of your mental space in the year of 2020. Add photos to it as well. And just know that at the end of the year, you'll be able to have a visual flip through of the year and see how much growth you've been through, see how much time you spent with the people that you love, how many amazing sort of emotions and experiences have come from this. And I see that that is something that will be invaluable to you, as well as just keep you on the track of documenting your growth as well as your process. Then we have a manifestation as well as the third eye portal. So the third eye portal is connected to the third eye chakra. And I want you to know here that your clairvoyance is really on a high. And as a Cancer, you're always a little more intuitive than the other signs. You're the kind of person who is very imaginative, who has a lot of cool ideas kind of, but it's also very important for you to make sure that you don't allow yourself to get confused or too all over the place. And that is where manifestation comes into play. Making a goal board, creating a goal board, and just setting very pure intentions is what will give you prosperity and fortune. But sometimes you get so caught up in just being a little everywhere emotionally and mentally that you want to do so many different things that you don't channel enough energy into one venture in order to make it work. And the same goes for love, okay? All my fellow Cancers, I want you to make sure that if you are single, that you're channeling enough energy into making sure that you're focusing on what you want instead of just exploring too many options. If you're in a relationship, make sure that you focus a lot on that relationship, even if there's already stability there. Make sure that you focus your energy in an area that really needs recuperation, that really needs regeneration, instead of just seeing everything as a whole, okay? You can have a very good, big, clear vision of the big picture, but really zooming in on the nitty-gritty details, that is what I see as beneficial for you. Then we have Utopia as well as the Gaian awakening. So in Utopia, I definitely see here that 2020 is going to be a year where you come a little bit more to a peaceful side of yourself. So right now, as I said, you may be on some emotional roller coasters, but I see that the year 2020 is going to bring you to a little bit more of a grounded place in your life where your emotions don't run so wild. And in the Gaian awakening, I want you to prepare for that because it's going to bring you a sort of like spiritual ascension where this growth and this like emotional maturity is just going to bring you to a whole nother level of just spiritual maturity, as well as being at a point in your life where, how should I say, you're almost like a leader emotionally. So you used to be the one who couldn't control their emotions, and then you're the one who knows how to be empathetic, who knows how to be loving, caring, and giving, but also knows when it's enough or when it's too much. You get what I'm saying? And people will look up to you for that. But let's move further into your reading. We have the Page of Shells as well as the Nine of Crystals. So in the Page of Shells, one thing that I see here is that following your intuition when it comes to what's right and what's wrong is what you should be doing in the year of 2020, especially in correlation to your job. So maybe there are things going on in your career, maybe you're also studying, that you feel are not quite right. So it could be the position that you're in, it could be the recognition that you're given, and it could be the people that you are working around, that are working with you. And I want you to make sure that you allow yourself to follow your heart and that you don't question it too much, because usually when people have bad intentions or when you're not really where you're supposed to be, you can feel it, especially as a Cancer. And the Nine of Crystals, I see here that there is abundance that is ready to enter your life in the year of 2020, which is, you know, more financial stability, which is more time, you know, better health. But you have to focus on making sure that you eliminate the factors that don't feel right, because if not, you're constantly distracted, right? You're constantly thinking of, oh my God, like Susan, like she said something the other day that really rubbed me the wrong way. And if you just eliminate even thinking about that, if you eliminate the possibility of your mind even going there, that frees up so much more time, and it makes sure that the chemicals in your body don't turn into something that is attached to worry or negativity, that you make sure that you keep your chemicals, that you keep everything pure and running at a pace where like your vibration is high and good. Then we have the Four of Crystals as well as the Queen of Shells. So last but not least, one thing that I see here for you is that in the Four of Crystals, you have to relinquish a little bit of control, okay? I feel like financially, maybe you're very like tight when it comes to things. Okay, how do I say that? No, like stingy, okay? That is what I mean. You're seeing everything like you need a lot of control over absolutely everything, and that's because you care about making sure that the future is safe and secure, which is important. But at the same time, like, treat yourself sometimes, you know. At the same time, if you really want something, the time that you spend mulling over it and maybe looking for like a cheaper version or a version where you can like save in some way, shape, or form, like you could have already just gotten what you wanted to get and moved on with life and make that money 10 times back, you know, 10 times over. Keep in mind how precious your time is. And in the Queen of Shells, one thing that I see here is really an embodiment of you. You're a water sign, you're very connected to your compassionate side, to your emotions, and it's important for you to continue letting that shine and letting that show, no matter what anybody may do to you. I want you to keep in mind here that you have to maintain that inner peace in order to be happy. And I know it's really hard to let go, especially if you've been hurt, but sometimes you have to, because it's good for you. Don't feel as though you're doing the person who hurt you, who betrayed you, a favor. Know that you are doing you a favor. You are doing something for yourself. And sometimes that is a little change in perspective that you need in order to just forgive, forget, and move on. Obviously, never completely forget, because we want to learn, you know, we want to be wise. But wisdom is basically experiences that don't hold emotional value, that are keeping us captive or that are controlling us. Wisdom is when you were hurt, you learned, and you move on with that, but you don't let it still affect you. You get what I'm saying? You guys always get what I'm saying. So all my dear Cancers, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my gorgeous little Leos, and I'm not just calling you gorgeous because I'm just calling you gorgeous. No, I have actually legit never met a Leo that wasn't physically attractive and didn't have that like spark of confidence. But let's move right into your reading about 2020. We have strength. So this is not necessarily something that you need more of. This is something that I see in the year of 2020 as coming out of you in a way that is more mature, in a way that just allows you to show the world what you're made of. Okay, so you're finally going to be channeling this inner strength in order to get what you want, and other people may feel insecure about that. That is one thing that I just want to point out to you. And it's one thing that you may have experienced in the past, where people take things the wrong way and they take like your confidence or the fact that you're ambitious as you being cocky or you being over the top, which is not true, but you have to like show it in a different way. And I'm not saying change who you are, but you have to keep in mind that a lot of people are not as confident. A lot of people do not believe in themselves. And when they see you believing in you, they may try to put obstacles in the way. They may try to be less than supportive. And I want you to just avoid that altogether in the year of 2020. I mean, sure, we can say, well, they can do whatever they want, but I see that there are people in 2020 who are in positions of power who could help you that you don't want to rub the wrong way. So have the strength to be empathetic towards that, to be empathetic towards the fact that you can be intimidating, and to channel what it is that you want to say in a way that everybody can feel comfortable and nobody feels threatened by your presence. But let's move further into reading. We have alternatives. So an alternative way, this is exactly what we spoke about, finding a way that makes, you know, the world feel a little bit less like you're a big threat until you get to the point where you can really just show everybody what you're made of. But those beginning steps are important for you to try, you know, an alternative way, to try a way how you could maybe go with an approach that is a bit more gentle, also to yourself. You know, don't put so much pressure on yourself. We have okay, I've been holding this like this because we have a card that flipped over, and this is always a sign. Okay, I never just skip over this. So let's see what we have here. We have reliable. So I want you to know that it's what is going on with you? So, okay, so all my dear Leos, we have nurture as well as reliable. So I want you to know here that it's very important for you to nurture the people around you and to make sure that you're reliable to all those who need you. So you're the kind of person who is very capable of doing their own thing, who probably thrives doing the things that they love, and you can do them completely by yourself. You don't need like a group of people to do whatever it is that you want to do, which is great. But also know that there are people who rely on you and who need you to be there for them, who need you to be sort of like the shoulder to cry on or the hand that they can hold to go through difficult times. Because as I said, not everybody is as confident as you, and you may not even feel that confident, but trust me, compared to other people, like you got loads of it. So make sure that you share sort of like this nurturing, caring, and giving side of you that people are really going to need in the year of 2020. And this will give you amazing karma because you're just putting this energy out into the universe, basically saying that you're here for other people. You know, you're grateful for what you have and you're willing to share. And whenever you share, whenever you give, it always comes back tenfold. Then we have wisdom as well as the guardians. So in wisdom, I want you to know here that your truth is one thing that you will start to feel more connected towards, okay? And then the guardians, I want you to know here that being so much like on the defense of learning new things is not going to be beneficial, okay? All my Leos, I want you to keep in mind that coming closer to your life's path, coming closer to really finding the meaning of life for you is a big thing in the year of 2020. And we all may not come to a point where we completely 100% know what life is or why we're on this path or journey, but I see that your intuition is really going to get sort of like this little niggling feeling that is going to push you towards a certain path, but you have to be open for it, okay? In the guardians, I see here that you may be trying to shield yourself a lot in the year of 2020. You may be trying to keep sort of like your ego in a spot where it is safe, because you're afraid of it being affected, because you're afraid of people sort of knocking down your beliefs, knocking down that confidence that you have or that you've taken so much time to build. But I want you to keep in mind here that you're somebody who is mature to the point where you have enough wisdom to know when something bad is coming. You don't always have to shield yourself. And I see here that just being on this journey that you're on, it's important for you to let your guards down, to feel more, and also to just be more receptive towards love, okay? Especially romantic love. Don't shield yourself off with your emotions to the point where other people cannot like penetrate those walls. Make sure that you allow yourself to just follow your intuition, even if it makes you feel vulnerable, and allow yourself to know that you've already learned quite a few lessons when it comes to other people that, you know, will reveal the truth before you even need to ask them, before they have even revealed the truth themselves. Then we have the Three of Acorns, we have Transformation, the Hermit, as well as the Six of Shells. So all my Leos, I want you to know here that transformation is going to come with a lot of liberation here in the year of 2020, okay? I see that what you really needed was to like break free a little more. What you really needed was a little more transformation from who you used to be into this new persona, and it's just going to make you feel like you can accomplish anything that you want to. So that feeling of liberation is going to give you a lot more of a broad vision. It's going to give you more foresight and more of that drive to commit to more exploration, because right now you may be afraid to explore unknown territories for various reasons, and that puts you in a space of contemplation, okay? So 2020 is not only going to be a year where you can sort of contemplate on the past years in your life and come to a conclusion of what you can do better because of this mature kind of wisdom, but it is also going to start off on a note where you're maybe a bit too much like only with yourself, okay? Where you can in fact be too like retreated into your little cave, if that makes any sense. So make sure that you step out of the cave, make sure that you honestly step out of the cave, not just physically going out and spending time with friends, but there's a difference between just being around other people and actually opening up to other people. And I want you to know here in the Six of Shells that you will just be able to feel so much more joy, that you will be able to feel so much more of what is going on around you when you just like stop the numbness, when you stop making yourself put up these walls and protect yourself to the point where sometimes you can't properly engage or you can't properly be yourself 100%. And it would just be so much more beneficial for you in the year of 2020 to make sure that you share everything that you know, to make sure that you share who you truly are, because people are interested and people do want to know, my dear Leos. Then we have vibration. So last but not least, I want you to focus on your vibration. I want you to know that the year of 2020 is going to give you a complete vibrational exchange. So it's almost going to be like, you know, you're drained of everything that's in you right now and you're filled up with a completely new vibration. So there are going to be growing pains. There are going to be times when you're insecure, when you need time to just rest and recuperate. So you may feel almost like something is wrong with you, but know that this has a lot to do with just your vibrational change, with the fact that you're going through a big transition, which can take a lot out of you. Also, spiritual awakenings are not what people think that they are. They're not just this zen, amazing namaste state. They are scary, okay? They stress you out and they make you feel as though something is wrong with you. But there's a reason why you tune into this reading, and now you know that that is a big part of your year of 2020. So don't freak out, all my dear Leos. Allow yourself to genuinely be confident and genuinely be yourself, instead of making yourself build up these walls or making yourself try and be as little vulnerable as you possibly can. Know that you don't need to feel like you're going to get hurt, okay? You're wise beyond your years and you need to make use of that in the year of 2020. So all my Leos, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you found it inspiring, that you found it motivational. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Virgos, and welcome to your reading about the year of 2020. I'm excited to figure out exactly what's happening for you, so just lean back and enjoy. First and foremost, we have the unexpected. So all my Virgos, I want you to expect the unexpected in the year of 2020. I know, how can you expect the unexpected? But just be open to it. That is one thing that Virgos can struggle with, being more open-minded, being a little less conservative, because you know, you're very diligent, you're somebody who pays attention to detail, but you can also be kind of shy, okay? And I want you to know that this may sort of shake you in your shy little shell this year of 2020, but it may also shake you to come out of that shell. It may also bring you to a point where you're like, wow, okay, things are really fun. Let me try out these unconventional ways, these unconventional types of activities, and just be someone who I've never known how to be. So expect a lot of growth, expect you expanding your horizon as well as who you are in ways how you may have never imagined that you would. Then we have commit to happiness. So that is one thing that you have to do, okay? It can be very hard when you're focused on details, when you're a little bit of a perfectionist, to just focus on being happy, because as a perfectionist, you're focused on things being perfect. You're focused on things being a certain way. So I want you to try and let go of that. I want you to know that that will make 2020 not as nice as if you're just like, let me focus on me. Let me focus on being happy and living my best life. Then we have a well-being. So all my Virgos, I want you to know that your well-being is at the forefront. So you may have sort of like a little bit, not necessarily of a health scare, but you may have some sort of flu or cold or something like that that makes you feel really weak, that makes you all of a sudden, you know, like when you're really sick and you're like, wow, I should have appreciated being healthy so much more. I should have basically conquered the world and done everything that I wanted to do while I was healthy, because now I just feel like I can't even lift up a bottle of water. So I want you to feel that every single day. I want you to feel grateful for your well-being, for your health, and to not wait till that happens, because if you do wait until that happens, then obviously you will be in way more of a like depressed kind of slump when you have that little phase where you go through the flu, where you go through this kind of like little like sickness, okay, that passes by, but it really makes you like feel shook. It really makes you feel like, wow, I should have appreciated my health more. I should have focused more on my well-being. Then we have liberation as well as oneness. So all my beautiful Virgos, you have to let go, okay? Liberation is one thing that will bring you fulfillment. It is one thing that will also give you more power, you know, letting go of waiting till something is perfect until you put it out there. You don't have to do that, okay? The most successful entrepreneurs, the most successful people, like in general, they just put things out, okay? They just focus on putting out value. And I want you to know here that like your divine masculine is really important for you in the year of 2020. It will really be pushed to a state where you're more proactive and where you also have more patience, as in knowing that, okay, for something really to be perfect, I can give it time, but in the meantime, like I don't have to like either have it be perfect or then not sort of submit it or have it out there at all. Like there is a balance. I can keep working on it and put sort of like my first draft out into the world, if you will. Then we have contemplation as well as isolation. So in the year of 2020, you run a little bit of risk of being the lone wolf, of being the one who kind of like does things by themselves a lot, and of maybe getting yourself into a state where you're not really spending a lot of time with other people, because you're really like taking time to get to know yourself. You're really taking time here to allow yourself to release control of social burdens. So by that, I mean releasing, like making sure that any sort of social status, anything that society has put upon you, any burden, any pressure is released. You're having this deep thought, you're having this intimate conversation with yourself where you ask yourself, you know, is this really what life is about? Is it really about how many likes we get? Is it really about fitting into this mold? Or is life about so much more? So there's a lot of intelligent conversation happening with you and yourself in the year of 2020, but it would be beneficial for you to share it a little bit. It would be beneficial for you to, of course, you know, take time to be by yourself, but you can also feel very lonely in those conversations. You can feel almost a little misunderstood to the point where you feel like there's nobody who you can talk to. So in isolation, I want you to make sure that you stay connected with those who are important to you, because otherwise you may just feel like you're completely alone in this world, which is not true, but as I said, you may end up feeling that way. Then we have the moon, the sun, the Ten of Shells, as well as the King of Shells. So in the Moon and the Sun, we have a very beautiful sort of balanced situation here. I see that there's a lot of vitality, there's a lot of joy, there are a lot of things happening on the surface, on the outside, that you can enjoy. But in the Moon, I want you to also know that there are things happening on the back end for you with your shadow side, with the side of you that is not your light side, that has a lot of effects on your life, okay? And I want you to focus on making sure that you're working with both sides of yourself, with the sides that you love, with your light side, as well as your shadow side, as well as the side of yourself that you wish was maybe a little different or a little better, quote unquote. So in the Ten of Shells, I see here that your well-being is really at the forefront. You know, we have well-being 2 times in the Ten of Shells, as well as just in well-being as, you know, one single card. And it's important for you to put your well-being first in order to receive blessings, because if you don't put being grateful, well, and healthy first, then you won't be able to work, you won't be able to get things done, you won't be able to spend time with friends and family the way you usually would, and you will become very irritable. And in the King of Shells, I want you to know that harmony is really what needs to be the core of you. It's important for you to know that when you focus on well-being, that you will be like that King of Shells, that person who is in control of their emotions, who has a strong moral compass as well as sense of integrity that people look up to and people love to have around them. So all my Virgos, this is what I see for you for the year of 2020. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, what motivated you, what inspired you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello all my beautiful Libras, and welcome to your reading about the year of 2020. So you're very chill, easygoing, as well as romantic and charming, which just really sets the tone for your reading. So let's get right into it. We have ruminate as well as reliable. So one thing that I see for you is that focusing on being reliable is very important. I see that there are people who are counting on you in the year of 2020 and counting on your reliability. So take accountability for that, all my Libras, okay? I know that you want balance. I know that you don't like confrontation, but sometimes you have to confront yourself no matter how uncomfortable it is, and no matter how much you don't want to do it and how much you want to avoid the situation. Then we have a nurture as well. So it's important for you to nurture yourself in a way how you're not like believing everybody who basically says what you want to hear. So one thing with you is that you like to believe in the good of other people, is that you like to believe that people only want the best for you, which is a great way to see the world, but at the same time, it's also how you can easily get hurt. So make sure that you nurture yourself by giving things time, okay? Don't feel like you have to make decisions instantly. Don't feel like you have to go for something or like you have to believe something as soon as it sort of like escapes another person's mouth. You can take time to go back, really ruminate, think about what you really feel is right, and then make your decisions and your choices based on that. So don't feel so pressured in the year of 2020, okay? It's important for you to know, like, you don't have to. If somebody puts you on the spot, that's their prerogative, but whether you allow them to actually get an answer out of you on the spot or get some sort of action out of you on the spot, that is completely up to you. So take that control, take the reins back in your hands. So let's move further into your reading. We have forgiveness, the sacral portal, the heart portal, as well as dreamscape. So one thing that I want to speak to you about is forgiveness. So as I already mentioned, as a Libra, you're easygoing, you're fun, you're charming, you're witty, like there's so many amazing things about you, okay? But one thing that I feel like you really need to focus on is making sure that forgiveness is something that is earned, okay? You may like to just forgive instead of really like talking it out, instead of really figuring out what you can do in order to not allow this situation to occur again. But make sure that forgiveness is really something where you feel happy with, because you've probably been in a lot of situations where you've forgiven somebody even though you felt like, did I really want to do that? And it's so essential for you to make sure that you always feel good about yourself and good about your mental state after any disagreement, after any sort of forgiveness process. And in the sacral portal, I want you to know here that, you know, your creativity is very important, and there may be blockages in your sacral portal because you're not completely happy with how things are coming out in your personal life, in sort of like your emotional realms in correlation to other people. So know that things that seem like they have nothing to do with each other can really block what we're doing. Okay, our creativity can be blocked. Like the fact that we're able to be intimate with other people can be put at a halt, can be put on a very rocky road, just through not completely feeling like emotionally fulfilled, just through not feeling like you're really being understood and taken seriously. So know that everything kind of goes together. Okay, everything interconnects. That is one thing that is important for you to understand, and to just know that you cannot just say like, okay, I'm not happy with this area of my life, but with this area of my life, I'm very happy. So let me just focus on this. You still have to work on that, okay? You still have to work on this little part here that annoys you, that you feel like is not really where it is supposed to be. Don't avoid it, okay? Make sure that you get right in there and that you turn it into something positive, that you turn it into a learning experience. Then moving on, we have Dreamscape as well as the Heart Portal, as already mentioned. In the Dreamscape, I want you to know here that focusing on your dream work is 2020's thing, okay? You have to focus on what you've always wanted to do. You have to allow your imagination to really travel to places that you may have been afraid to allow it to travel to because you don't want to feel disappointed in yourself. So if you're not doing exactly what you've always wanted to do, don't feel disappointed, but start to subconsciously program yourself to take steps towards it. So if you feel like you don't completely 100% believe that you can actually accomplish your dreams, that is where you need to start working on it, okay? You have to start working at the root of your belief, of your sort of like system, of your subconscious ways, and to make sure that you really open up your heart portal. Make sure that you're really generous with yourself. Know that there are people who have dreamed things into actually existing and being. Don't mistrust yourself. That is one thing where I see that there is a lot of potential that could be missed out on in the year of 2020. So not trusting yourself, thinking that you can't really accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish, that is your downfall. You know, just reprogramming yourself mentally, subconsciously, that is how you will start to see a lot more success for yourself. Then we have the Seven of Shells as well as the Two of Crystals. So there are a lot of choices and opportunities, okay? And you have to weed out the right from the wrong. That is one thing, and that is coming up for you in the year of 2020. It comes with a lot of pressure when you have a lot of options and choices, and you have to make the decision all by yourself as to what is right, what is wrong, and what is going to be beneficial, and what may even be your downfall. So I want you to keep in mind here that you have to remain adaptable. If you make a wrong choice, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't start thinking, oh, if I only would have. Make sure that you just allow yourself to make the best out of what is already here, out of what is already present, because that will allow you to not feel bad about yourself. That will allow you to not feel like you did something wrong, because guilt is really your worst enemy for the year of 2020. Then we have the Eight of Feathers as well as the Page of Feathers. So you're very connected to the air, okay? In the Eight of Feathers, one thing that I see here is that you're constantly looking for solutions, which really works in favor for the Seven of Shells, because you're going to know like, okay, maybe I made a wrong choice, but I'll try and find a way to fix it. I'll try and find a way to get a solution into the picture that will allow this to turn out positively anyways. And in the Page of Feathers, I want you to know that there may be somebody who comes into your life who is of an air sign, who has that kind of air sign energy, and you're going to like explore and discover the different possibilities of that relationship. You're going to try and figure out how you can make it work and how you can maybe even work together. So this will take a lot of sort of courage from your side to trust. This will take a lot out of you to really open up, but it will be beneficial, okay? That experience with this person coming into your life is going to probably benefit you financially as well, okay? The 8 is kind of like the number of money. We have the Two of Crystals, where you will learn to balance a lot more of your time, your finances, and I feel like this person will have a positive impact on that. I feel like this person will teach you to either be more selfish and focus on yourself more, or they will teach you a lot of valuable things as to how you can further your success, your career, what it is that you want to accomplish in life when it comes to your financial realms, as well as the realms of your health and time management. So all of my beautiful Libras, I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it inspirational as well as motivational. Let me know that in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello all my beautiful Scorpios, and welcome to your reading about the year of 2020. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to get right into it. So why don't you lean back, relax, and enjoy. First and foremost, we have learning. So the year of 2020 is going to be a great year of learning, and learning comes with a lot of epiphanies. It comes with you also being open-minded and putting in the work to acquire new knowledge. So this is overall a year where I truly feel like you will take big strides and steps towards your next goals. You will reach some of your next goals that you have set for yourself right now, and you will be able to know more about you, the environment, the people surrounding you, as well as how this world works. And a lot of things that come with learning is also realizing how much you don't know yet, okay? And that is a very mature way to see the world, just allowing yourself to be like, okay, I don't know everything, but I'm learning. And each day that I live, each day that goes by, I'm able to understand a little more. I'm able to make a little more connections of life as well as this world. So then we have committing to happiness. So the year of 2020, I truly feel like this year you're going to decide, I'm going to be happy and I'm not going to allow anybody to get in the way of that. And that is amazing, okay? To all my Scorpios, when you are determined to do something, when you want something, you're gonna get it. And I definitely feel like 2020, if 2019 has been rough, know that 2020 is going to be so much more joyful, so much more happy, and just so much more of a motivated you that is present. Then we have boundaries. So there is definitely going to be this sort of space between you and the things that do not make you happy. And there may be people, situations that are alienated out of your life because of that. And it may come with some sort of like backlash. It may come with people saying that, I don't know, you're a hypocrite or you're not who you said that you were, because you don't want to engage in their negativity or petty BS anymore. And I'm just saying it just how it is, okay? This channel is all about being transparent, and I want you to just know that when people are angry about you not wanting to put up with their BS anymore, if people like take a mile from you and you give that even though you didn't want to, and then they want to take like more, okay? You give them the little finger and they take the entire hand. That's how the saying goes. That like when you then do not like give them a finger anymore to just like grab the entire hand when they feel like it and they get mad about it, know that that is a sign that that was a toxic relationship, and that was a relationship that you had to get out of. So if you have to even like test it, if you have to like test the waters a little bit, do so just in order to get clarity. But of course, you know, don't like take it too far. That's all I want to say. So then we have isolation as well as galactic guidance. So in galactic guidance, I want you to know here that your connection to your star sign, your connection to really like your constellation and just the different phases of the moon, the planetary system, just how the lunar phases affect your sign particularly. I feel like a strong connection here between you and who you are at the core, who you are as sort of like this star being. So I want you to know here that you have to like cooperate with who you naturally are. So as a Scorpio, if you're naturally somebody who can be compulsive, who can be jealous, try and work with those traits, as in telling yourself, okay, like the fact that I can be compulsive or obsessive about something, why don't I use that to further my career? Why don't I use that to obsess over being the best at something positive? You know what I mean? So retreat, take time to really like figure out how you're going to do that. That is one thing that I see in isolation. A little bit of time needed for you to truly like say to yourself, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to take everything that I don't really love about myself and turn it into something amazing. Then we have reflective truth as well as releasing. So we already spoke about letting go of people who maybe don't vibrate on the same level as you do, and letting go of people who want to just like take everything that they can. And as somebody who gives, you have to set a limit, because a lot of people who take don't know when to stop taking. And you know, once again, just a little truth that I want to put out there. And in releasing, I want you to know that just like releasing people who just take, letting go is going to come with so much liberation, so much of a freeing feeling. Letting go of friendships as well as situations that you feel are very one-sided. And in reflective truth, I see here that your true identity is going to come out in 2020, to the point where you look in the mirror and you really recognize like who you are and who you wanted to be. You know, you will start to accept every bit of yourself more. You're not going to point out the little things that disturb you, that annoy you about yourself. You're going to know that as a whole, you have so much to be grateful and happy for, and you're not going to be nitpicking every little thing as much as you maybe did in the year of 2019. Staying off of social media more can help tremendously with that, and that's just one thing that I wanted to put out there for you. So we have love as well as the Eight of Acorns. So I want you to know here in both these cards that there is a lot of energy in love. Okay, there is big potential for love if you are single, and there is a lot of choice. Okay, you decide whether you want to go with this or not. So by that I mean, for instance, you have choices as in going on a lot of dates and not settling until you feel 100% sure, because love is a thing that you have to experience in order to know, but at the same time you can really like follow your intuition and your gut feeling on it. And in the Eight of Acorns, I want you to channel a lot of energy into that gut feeling. I want you to make sure that you allow yourself to really wait until you know what you're doing, until you instinctively know like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. And in isolation, we have the wolf, which is obviously an animal, very instinctual, who can sometimes go off on their own, you know, kind of like the lone wolf, to do whatever it is that they need to do. So if you feel like you need a little bit of time to get to know yourself more before you make a decision in love, take that time, but communicate it. You know, if you're seeing somebody, make sure that you let them know that you just need a little bit of time to think about things before you can fully trust, because love has a lot to do with trust. It has a lot to do with being able to put yourself out there, which you have to really decide for yourself whether that is something that you want to do or not. Then we have the moon as well as the Five of Acorns. So in the Five of Acorns, I see challenges that will bring immense growth. So we spoke about learning and the fact that the year of 2020 is a great year for learning. So in the past years, yes, I mean, we're always learning. Obviously, there is not a year that goes by where you do not learn something new, but 2020 is especially strong on that. And it is probably strong on that because you're going to have to show your fierce side more, because there are challenges that are going to be put in your way. There are obstacles that are going to come towards you in the year of 2020 where you have to show your strength, where you have to like show your more intimidating side. Okay, you're going to have to boss up. You're going to have to let the world know that you are here to stay, and you're going to have to stand your ground. And in the moon, I want you to know that this may have to do with situations that seemed better than they were, but then they ended up not being so great, and you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to get out of it. So for instance, people making promises to you and not keeping the promises, and you have to call them out on it, you know? And that is just one thing that I don't want you to be afraid of. That is one thing that I don't want you to let sort of like get away of your happiness in 2020, because sadly we live in a world where we can't just rely on people's word anymore. We can't just rely on people doing the right thing, and sometimes you have to call people out who do the wrong thing, who lie, who do the wrong thing who do the wrong thing, who lie, who put you in an uncomfortable spot, and you have to set the record straight. You have to set them straight in order to have that inner peace, to know like, good, you know, I'm not just being a doormat. I actually got up and said what's up to this person. I actually made sure that I was keeping my respect where it needs to be, that I was maintaining my integrity, and that I was making sure that I stood for what was true and what I believed in. So all of my dear Scorpios, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful as well as inspirational and motivational. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, all my beautiful Sagittariuses. Let us move into your reading about the year of 2020. I want you to lean back, relax, and enjoy this unfolding before your eyes. So first up, we have positive-minded people. All my Sagittariuses, you have to surround yourself with not what glitters, with not, what looks good, but with people who are actually positive-minded. There are so many people who put out a facade that seems successful, but then you get closer to them and you realize that maybe they're not as confident as they seem to be, say, on the internet or in the way that they portray themselves. Maybe they're not as positive-minded as the people that you would truly like around you, and that is completely fine to also come to realizations that some of the people that you have spent a lot of time with may not be the right energetic matches for you. Know that, in life, there are a lot of people who are with us for a certain amount of time to teach us certain lessons. And, that does not mean that they will be with us for the rest of our lives. It does not mean that that is something negative. There are a lot of friendships and relationships that have an expiration date, and that expiration date is there for a reason, because you grow apart and you become different people who then vibe on a whole nother level with another group of people, and it just goes on and on. So allow that to not be something that makes you feel inadequate. Then we have kindness, okay? So I want you to focus on being kind and on giving. So in the year of 2019, maybe even prior years, you may have wanted to do more for other people. You may have wanted to give more, maybe also do more for yourself, treat yourself more, treat yourself in a more kind way. Now is the time to do it. And the way how you can really unlock the magic to doing so is by surrounding yourself with these kind people, with these positive-minded people, because when you have people around you that are constantly pushing you to do better, that are constantly pushing you to be great, you're going to be able to do more for yourself as well as those around you, and you're not going to be so judgmental. So I see that really reshaping who you spend time with is going to reshape a lot for you in the year of 2020. Then we have self-love. So the year of 2020 is a year of true self-love, and all my Sagittariuses out there, I want you to know that true self-love is not what a lot of society makes it out to be, is not what the mainstream media is trying to tell us that it is. Self-love is not going into debt to buy yourself those new headphones that you really wanted. That is not self-love. That is not treating yourself. That is just putting one more burden and one more worry on your plate. What would have been self-love is to not purchase that, but instead to find a way to get more financial abundance, to where you can treat yourself financially at a point where you're not worried, at a point where you're not in debt, at a point where you haven't overdrawn your credit card. That is real self-love. Also, self-love is not eating that McDonald's burger, is not eating that fast food, is deciding to work out and eat a healthy home-cooked meal instead, because not only are you saving money, not only are you doing something for the environment, but you are nurturing your body with more pure ingredients. You know what I mean? And share this with positive-minded people. Share your success, share the progress that you're making, and also share the challenges, because when you come to points where you don't know how to move forward, where you're kind of thinking to yourself, oh, I've just hit like a block, they will be able to give you advice that is truly valuable and that will push you forward in the way that you need it to. Then we have adventure, challenges, we have wisdom, as well as galactic guidance. So in adventure, I want you to know here that you will probably be committing to some travel. You will probably be committing to some adventure that will really broaden your horizon. And one thing that I really recommend for a lot of you to do, if you have not been traveling as a child with, your family showing you different things, which I have been fortunate to have traveled a lot as a child and a teenager, then I truly think like as an adult, when it is in your hands, because before maybe it wasn't, take time out of your schedule to travel, to see other cities, to see other countries, to see just other communities and how people live. That is what truly broadens your horizon and makes you come back as a changed person, if you will. Then in challenges, I want you to know here that a big part of your challenges is really blocks and fears, and it does have a lot to do with people who are not positive. It has a lot to do with people who are naysayers or people who are holding you back. And you don't always need somebody to say that they don't support you in order to know that they don't support you. There are sometimes friends in your life who, for instance, when you do something big, when you, for instance, post the fact that you just finished your exams or you just got promoted, they will remain silent each and every time. I want you to know that not saying anything to other people's success is also a message, okay? Obviously, it depends like how close the friendship is. Some people are just not active on social media that much, etc., etc. Everybody has their own sort of like, how should I say? It's a very individual process of deciding whether somebody is supportive of you, whether somebody is negative. But you know, like if you have somebody that you speak to every 2 days or something, if you have somebody in your life that you feel like you're really close to, but they never actually congratulate you, know that that is negative, okay? Because that makes you feel like, wow, you know, I'm not supported as soon as something great happens for me. That person is not there as soon as we're not talking about them or some sort of drama. So keep in mind that that is not uplifting. Keep in mind that that can put a challenge into your life. Then in wisdom as well as galactic guidance, I want you to know here that your star family is present in the year of 2020, that you have this sort of guidance that you may have never felt before. So you may be religious and you feel like the guidance is coming from whatever it is that you believe in. You may also be more spiritual and you may feel like the laws of attraction, the laws of cause and effect, just this natural laws are really working for you. And in wisdom, I want you to know that patience is very important in order to acquire more of the wisdom and just being in control of your emotions. Know that wisdom is when messed up things happen to you and you move on without letting those things affect you in the present moment. You move on with the wisdom, but not with the emotional burden, if you know what I mean. So that is exactly what you need to be focusing on, what you need to be doing in the year of 2020. Then we have the Two of Acorns, the Tower, the Queen of Acorns, as well as the Empress. So we have some things that are in your control, some things that are a little less in your control. So in the Queen of Acorns, as well as the Two of Acorns, I definitely see that here your ambition, your drive, your energy, that is all very much in your control. And it has a lot to do also with, you know, the self-love that we spoke about, with making sure that you're practicing real self-love, not just the self-love that is the easier route. You know what I'm saying? And in the Two of Acorns, you have to focus, zoom in on what it is that you want and go for it. We have some sort of like eagle type of animal here, and you know how an eagle has a very like big far vision but can zoom in on a very small like animal, rodent, and go in for the kill and get what it needs to get in order to survive. So I want you to sort of take that analogy with you. In the Empress, there is a lot of beauty, abundance, and possibly some sort of like pregnancy or new life entering your life in the year of 2020. So this does not have to be you. This could be somebody around you. It could be sort of like adopting a pet, something in the sorts where there is a new connection formed that is very nurturing, okay? You are kind of like the older, bigger, more mature person who is able to help to nurture and to take care. And the Tower, I want you to know that you have to release, okay? The year of 2020, last but not least, the Tower card just shows that it will be a complete revamp, okay? Your life may be put upside down, and I don't want you to freak out, okay? I want you to make sure that you maintain this sort of like feelings of release, because when you allow yourself to say like, this is happening all just because old energy, old vibrations need to be released, that is when you can be more at peace. That is when you can make sure that you're not freaking out to the extent of ruining opportunities, relationships, or parts of your life where you just could have like spinned it into something positive. So all my dear Sagittariuses, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading and that you found it insightful and motivational. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello all my beautiful Capricorns, and welcome to your reading about the year of 2020. So let's get straight into it. First and foremost, we have growth. So the year of 2020 is going to be a grand year of growth. it is completely obvious. I mean, of course we grow every year, but for you, especially for Capricorns, you are going to go through so much growth, through so much change that you may be completely unrecognizable at the end of the year of 2020. So you have to make use of this growth. You have to make use of the fact that there is so much change happening and make sure that you channel the change into exactly what you want it to be. Then we have reliable. So I want you to keep in mind here that there are a lot of sources in your life where you can get help from that are reliable, that will allow you to grow in a way that is more positive, okay, that is more helpful for you. But it's important for you to really weed out the good from the bad. So there may be some sources, some people in your life who are not as supportive as they could be, and you may not want to incorporate them in your journey for growth. But there are also other sources, like for instance, you know, people who are close to you, who do always support you. Maybe you don't have that many people who understand what you want to do. So then obviously, you know, read books, listen to podcasts, connect with people over social media that you feel like really get you. And that will allow you to catapult your growth a lot further than just being by yourself. Okay, then we have nurture as well as intention. So I want you to know here that it is so important for you to focus on setting your intentions as well as nurturing yourself at the same time. So you may have been neglecting your needs, you may have been neglecting your intentions as well as just your journey in life, okay? Your path may have been neglected just because you're so focused on pleasing other people, because you're so focused on taking care of somebody else that you are just not even on the radar. But the year of 2020 is all about jolting forward, is all about the growth, is all about making things happen, is all about actually being unrecognizable from the year of 2019, and in the most positive and fabulous way. Then we have the sacral portal. So I want you to know here that intimacy is one thing that I see for you in the year of 2020. So you may be in a new relationship, or the relationship that you're in will just regain a lot more of its passionate and fiery spark. So be prepared for that. Allow yourself to not feel sort of like, do not criticize yourself, do not criticize your body, don't criticize how you kiss, how you do whatever it is that you do with your partner. Make sure that you just remain as confident as you possibly can be. Then in releasing, as I said, you have to release these insecurities. You don't have time, space, any of that, okay, for any sort of insecurities in the year of 2020. It's important for you to purify your thoughts in order to make space for these intentions that have everything to do with your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. So if you feel like they've been on the back burner for whatever reason, you have to release that, okay? You have to make sure that you conduct some sort of like cleansing where you bring yourself back to where you want to be. And by that, I'm not talking about anything scary, okay? I'm talking about you actually taking the time to create a vision board, a goal board, a treasure map, writing down your intentions. Write them in the present tense. Say, I am successful, I am lovable, I am in a relationship, I am amazing, okay? Whatever it is that you want to write down, focus on putting your intentions in a spot where you can allow the energy to flow towards those intentions instead of somewhere else. So just think of it as a river, okay? There is water, there's like a lot of energy that comes with it, and sometimes rivers they sort of like split their energy, okay? And that may be what you've been doing, okay? There's like one little stream going down here, there's one little stream going down here. So the energy is diverted into two different streams. But what you need to do in the year of 2020 is you need to bring those streams back together and point your energy in the direction of your intentions. Make sure that you keep in mind that where your mind flows, you know, where your intentions go, that's where the energy flows as well. So take that analogy with you and make sure that you focus on just coming back to where you need to be on an energetic level, on making sure that you're not spreading yourself too thin. Then we have the shadow, the King of Crystals, as well as the Four of Crystals, and then let's just add one more card for you. We have the Queen of Shells. So I want you to know here in the King of Crystals that this is a prosperous year financially, as well as when it comes to your health, okay? You're finally going to get healthy. You're finally going to be able to nurture yourself and grow your strength. So growing your strength is not about being a certain size or a certain weight. It's all about being strong. So working out, making sure that your body has the vitamins and minerals that it needs. And I want you to really like make sure that right from the beginning of 2020, you commit to that. And in the shadow, there is a lot that can kind of hold you up, okay? So there is somebody in 2020 that is not truthful, that is not here for your best intention, so to say. And this is a new person. This is not somebody that you already know, but you have to weed them out and make sure that you don't start a friendship there. Make sure that you don't start a connection, because you will be disappointed. And there's a reason why you tune into this reading, and it is absolutely not to scare you. It is just for you to be watchful, because when you become more successful, when you glow up, when you get to like this new area code of who you are, there are not only people who are happy for you, there are also people who want to benefit from that. You know, the people who would have never looked at you before, all of a sudden they're trying to be your friend now. That's what I'm speaking about. So as I said, this is not somebody who is already in your life. This is somebody who wants to now come into your life. So that does not mean that you have never encountered them briefly, but that just means that you don't know them like that, okay? But now they're trying to weasel their way in, but we're not going to do that, okay? Then in the Four of Crystals, I see here that there is a lot that's going on where you may feel like money is flying out the window quicker than it's coming in, but keep in mind that sometimes you have to invest in yourself or in a potential business in order to allow anything to grow and thrive whatsoever. So it can be scary if you're starting your own thing, your own business, to actually invest in it financially, because you're afraid that you might not get it back. But I want you to know here that you have to get to this point of inner peace. You have to like allow yourself to know that everybody who has started a business, everybody who has gone off and, you know, invested in themselves in order to get some sort of return has been at this point of contention where they were unsure and where they were afraid to do so. You know, whether that's investing academically and getting that extra degree, or as I said, in starting your own business, maybe investing in your glow up and making sure that you're really, you know, not only growing internally, but also furthering yourself on the outside to the person that you want to become. Because at the end of the day, you can tell me whatever you want to say, but looks do matter in this day and age. Looks do matter in this society. So it's important for you to relinquish a little bit of financial control to make sure that it flows to the places where it will have a long-term positive effect. So that could be your own business. That could be making sure that, for instance, you get your teeth done just to look more presentable and just more professional in the job world. Why? I don't know why you have to look a certain way to be professional, but at the end of the day, let's not lie to each other, okay? If you show up looking one way, you can make a way better impression when it comes to your work, when it comes to your success in your career, than if you show up looking another way. So invest in that in the year of 2020. All my beautiful Capricorns, I see a huge glow up for you. As I said, a lot of growth, and it's important that you take care of yourself and that you make sure that you put a little bit of like band-aids on those growing pains, and that you nurture them back into where they're supposed to be, back into, you know, like a healthy spot. So all my Capricorns, I hope that this reading was insightful, motivational. Let me know down below what really hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my beautiful Aquariuses, and welcome to your reading about the year of 2020. So I want you to lean back, relax, and enjoy the messages that I have for you. So first and foremost, we have forward movement. So all my Aquariuses, I want you to know that the year of 2020 is probably going to move in a very quick way, how you never expected it to go. So you may have felt like maybe you're in a slump, or maybe things aren't moving along as quickly as you would like them to, but all of a sudden there is going to be this jolt forward, and you're not even going to know how it's happening, but all you're going to know is that it is happening. So enjoy the ride, don't get nervous about it, know that you're moving in the right direction, and that forward movement is always something positive. You know, whether you hit a little rock, whether you hit a little obstacle, it doesn't really matter, because that obstacle was there anyways. You know, you were bound to hit something. So you might as well hit it while you're on the way forward and get over it, you know, and destroy it, or whatever you need to do, go around it and carry on with life. You know, keep conquering the new heights that you have to conquer. Then we have ruminate, as well as respect. respect. Okay, so all my Aquariuses, I want you to know here that it's important for you to give things a little bit of time. So you can be very like humanitarian, you can be a kind of person who is very caring and friendly, but at the same time you can also become very detached when you're rubbed the wrong way and you literally like could not care less for somebody who is mean-spirited. But I want you to like sort of like give things more time. I want you to not feel as though you have to go down that route. I want you to not feel as though you have to become cold, detached, just distant, okay? Don't do that to yourself, because that will put you in a state where you don't even recognize yourself, where you feel as though you've changed so much just because of the experiences that you've been through. Don't allow the world to change you for the worse. Make sure that you're the one who changes the world for the better and shows that you don't have to engage in any petty nonsense. You don't have to be as mean-spirited as maybe somebody else has been to you. You don't have to be indifferent, because indifferent is really something that we have to be careful with. I mean, in today's cancel culture and today's like I don't care culture, it seems like something normal, but being indifferent is not something to be taken lightly, because it can really shut off some of our emotions that are essential as human beings. Then we have the heart portal, as well as releasing, the sacral portal, and liberation. So all my Aquariuses, I want you to know here that as soon as you sort of like release this feeling of just being indifferent, as soon as you allow yourself to feel a little more, I see that that will give you a sense of liberation. So you may be afraid of it, but just letting go of fears is really what you need for the year of 2020. And just be more receptive to people's apologies as well. Be more receptive to people trying to better themselves, as well as you trying to better you, okay? Don't think to yourself that there's no point anyways, that you are the way you are. There's always a point in trying new things. There's always a point in chasing your dreams. You know, you're never too old and it's never too late. That is one of the things that is just really important for you to know for the year of 2020. And in correlation to the sacral portal, I want you to channel your sort of creative side. I want you to make sure that anything that you wanted to do, don't let go of it. The year 2020 is a great year for an explosion of creativity. It is a great year for you to just sort of like get something started that will turn into what you didn't expect it to be. So it could be starting your own business. It could be starting a YouTube channel, a Instagram page for a business that you own. It could be trying something completely different, you know, going into logistics, going into, you know, handling products, where you're starting something that you never thought would turn into a big thing, but it ends up actually turning into something grand. So turning hobbies, things that you just like, side hustles, into like main hustles, that is what I see big potential for you in the year of 2020. And as an Aquarius, you're somebody who works really well by themselves, so make use of this. Not everybody has the motivation to do things by themselves and on their own accord. In liberation, I want you to also take time to just liberate yourself in the sense of allowing you to be you. Don't make yourself feel like you have to dim your light. Don't make yourself feel like you have to not be yourself because of other people or other people's feelings. I mean, that is up to them if they want to feel a certain way about what it is that you're doing. But at the end of the day, it is so liberating for you to keep in mind that you have to make yourself happy. You have to make yourself feel whole and yourself feel good. And if that means being a little bit more relentlessly yourself, a little bit more yourself without focusing so much on other people's feelings, then do so. But don't shut off your feelings. Don't shut off your emotions once you get hurt or when you feel like somebody is lacking respect. Then we have the 5 of crystals, the 2 of feathers, the 7 of feathers, as well as the 9 of shells. So all my dear Aquariuses, one thing that I see here in the 7 of feathers is the fact that resourcefulness is your best friend in the year of 2020. You're not going to feel as though you need like the room temperature, the humidity, the time of the day to be perfect in order for you to move forward. You're just going to be able to move forward. And in the 9 of shells, there is a time of emotional fulfillment here. There is a time where you can be grateful with those around you who you really love and who you really appreciate. This is also an indication for emotional fulfillment in love, as well as just you finally being at a point where you're content. So you don't necessarily need to be in a relationship to feel emotionally fulfilled. You could be by yourself, or you could be in a situation where you're still figuring it out, but you're nevertheless happy with where you are. In the Five of Crystals, I want you to see that there are new possibilities in the year of 2020 that have to do with just basically opening up your mind to trying something new, to trying something out of the ordinary. And as an Aquarius, this is something that comes more naturally to you, but I want you to know here that you have to really be a bit more persistent in the year of 2020. I see that there are certain possibilities that, yes, are going to come in your life naturally, but you can also channel some possibilities that would have not been a possibility had you not went out there and been persistent about making it a possibility. So if you want to, as I said, start your own business, write a song and get on the Billboard charts, you have to create the possibilities by being persistent, by maybe writing an email to a record label 20 times, by maybe just showing up at somebody's doorstep and pitching your business idea. You know what I mean? You have to really make the possibility happen by just doing it, okay? You can't let a no stop you. That is very important for you. Then we have the Two of Feathers. So in the Two of Feathers, one thing that I see here is that your decisions carry a lot of weight for the year of 2020, and even the small ones. And that is something that you may not notice on a daily basis. You may make decisions without thinking that much, but it's important for you to know that your decisions carry so much weight to the fact that they may completely change the direction that you go in life, okay? And as an Aquarius, I know that, you know, you're very honest and you're very loyal. But one thing that I also want you to know is that you can tend to be very unpredictable, and that scares people. So always keep people in the loop about your decisions. Always keep people in the loop about where you're going, because there is sort of like a danger here where you may disconnect from people that you don't want to disconnect from, but all because you're moving forward so quickly, you're doing your own thing, you're making sure that, you know, your decisions are made the way they're supposed to be made, and you're focusing on creating these new possibilities. And not everybody can keep up with this sort of rapid movement. Not everybody can keep up with what is going on. So keep people informed, make sure that you brief people of what is happening, and allow yourself to not feel as though you're just slowly but surely disconnecting and distancing yourself. Make sure that you stay close to the people who matter the most by just allowing them to be part of your journey. So all my Aquariuses, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful, that it was motivational as well as inspirational. Let me know that in the comment section what really hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello all my beautiful Pisces, welcome to your reading about the year of 2020 for you. So let's get right into it. Lean back and enjoy your reading. So let's figure out exactly what's going on for you. We have strength. Okay, so as a Pisces, I want you to know that you're somebody who is easy to be led. Okay, how do I say that? You're the kind of person who will follow another person's lead more easily as though others would. Okay, and I want you to take the reins back in your control. I want you to make sure that you maintain 100% control of where you're going, of your decisions, and that you make sure that you're not following the lead of somebody who maybe doesn't even care that much about your success, or who is maybe not leading you towards what you want to go towards. So especially when it comes to friends and family as a Pisces, you know, you can become very attached to them. You can feel as though, you know, you want to do what they're telling you to do, which they may not have ill will or bad intent for you, but at the same time, you know your goals, and you have to make sure that you're moving towards those goals and that you're just not following somebody's lead, somebody who sounds like they're doing the right thing, or somebody who is saying that they're doing the right thing. Like, actually do the right thing for yourself. Then we have ruminate as well as the unexpected. So I want you to know that the year 2020 is going to come with a lot of unexpected strength that you maybe did not realize that you had, or you maybe did not realize needed to resurface. So if you had a very difficult childhood because you were maybe made fun of, or people were maybe less than kind to you, you may have completely forgotten that you had that strength within you to fight against that and to still come out as a winner, to still allow yourself to remain strong and to not let that like affect you so much. But in the year of 2020, I see that really coming out. As soon as you take the reins back into your hands, trust me, some people are not going to like it. Some people are maybe going to be skeptical, or even try and like gain back control in a very forceful way, like gain back control of you. But you have to stop that right there, okay? You have to make sure that that does not happen, because I mean, why should you? Okay, 2020 is about you, finally. Then we have wisdom as well as liberation. So just being more of your own boss, of your own leader, is going to lead to extreme liberation, is going to lead to this feeling of you finally like being at peace, okay? Because you know that you're doing what you want to do. You know that you're doing what makes you happy, and you don't feel as though, ooh, like, am I sure that this person is going to do the right thing? You know that you will do the right thing, and you are putting yourself back in those positions of control. Then in wisdom, I want you to know here that you have like very much like a psychic streak. 2020 is a year where like your intuition is very strong, and where you're able to feel a lot of things that other people don't feel or don't notice. So there may also be some sort of like synchronicities that come up for you, where you're like, wow, okay, this cannot be a coincidence that I have seen like a bright yellow car so many times in a row. This cannot be a coincidence that I keep seeing the number 333 everywhere. So keep in mind that all of these things have a lot to do with your kind of like psychic connection, with your connection to the universe, and just the unexplainable, if you will. Then we have exploration. So all my Pisces, I want you to know here that boldness is more a part of you in 2020. And this could be completely new to you because you're not used to being bold. You're very loving, you're very caring, but being bold may have not always been your strength. But there will be an experience or an epiphany that really hits you, and you're going to realize, like, I can't continue like this. I need to make sure that I have the audacity and I have the boldness to go after what I want to go after, because nobody else is going to do it for me. So I have to do this for myself. Then we have harmonic resolution as well as the sacral portal. So in harmonic resolution, I want you to know here that there can be a resolution for any sort of feelings that you have for yourself that are not pure, okay? That are kind of like a little bit of disappointed feelings. And the way how you can do that is by oneness, okay? We have oneness, and by being in balance, by allowing your divine masculine to take over a little bit. So as a Pisces, you're a little bit more on the feminine side. You're a little bit more on the side here that is very creative, that has a lot of great ideas and a lot of great willpower to do things. But when it actually comes to getting out of your comfort zone, to actually doing it, you may be a little afraid, okay? Because yes, you have a lot of great ideas, and yes, you have a lot of really dreamy things that are amazing, but you need that masculine energy to actually make you like go out there, be bold, and get it done, okay? And this sort of like negativity of feeling like you can't do it, or just feeling as though like you're angry at yourself for not trying harder, or you're angry at yourself for allowing other people to make decisions for you, it can be overcome in the year of 2020, okay? You can let go of any resentment that you harbor towards yourself and the actions that you have been a part of in the past, and you can really get back into balance just by focusing on doing and not really like planning so much, but actually putting things into action. Then we have the 5 of acorns as well as the 6 of shells. So in the 5 of acorns, I want you to know that it will be like a big challenge for you to do this. It will be a big challenge for you to come out of your shell like that. But you have to keep in mind that this is for the greatest good, okay? Like if you want to be successful, if you want to be a truly happy Pisces, in balance and connection with yourself, you have to speak up. You know, it's going to be a challenge to kind of like roar, you know, like we have here, but like 2020 is the year to do it. If there was ever a year for you to do this, it is 2020. And in the 6 of shells, I want you to know that you can really get yourself like gassed up from the people who care about you, through the people who love you, and just spend time with them to sort of like decompress, okay? It is very important for you to decompress, because when you allow emotions of feeling a little bit insecure, feeling a little bit like resentful towards maybe the mistakes that you've made or the things that you haven't yet been able to accomplish, then you get into a space where you can isolate yourself, where you can really detach from the world, where you can detach from who you are just because you're so in your feelings, especially as a Pisces. So let go of that. Don't allow that to be a part of what is just like festering within you. Allow yourself to be joyful. Allow yourself for like the only thing to be festering within you to be happiness, and just knowing that you're loved, knowing that you have support, even if you make a mistake, even if, you know, that person confronts you and you're not able to call them out that one time because you just didn't want the confrontation. You know that that is not like a fallback or a setback. Know that it's just important for you in 2020 to make sure that whenever things are important, you're speaking up. Whenever you have to, you're like telling somebody what you're going to deal with and what you're absolutely not going to deal with, and that you do not compromise your integrity, your moral values, or your dreams for anybody or anyone, not at your work, not in your personal life, and not in love. So all my beautiful Pisces, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it inspirational as well as motivational. Let me know down in the comment section what you're going to implement, what really inspired you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.